Come over here. Come over here, Sam. Come here. Oh, you're just gonna lay down right there? Okay. You just making sure that it wasn't about you? Okay. So hi and welcome everyone. Friar Tuck here. This is my epoch, and we are doing our nightly live stream. Not only am I tired and exhausted, I'm kind of apathetic today. So excuse me if I kind of seem like I'm really not there. Just like sometimes you have things happen. I'm sure you guys have this happen where it's just like you have enough things happen to where you just like, screw the world. I'm done. I'm not going to put any more emotional energy into it. And just over what's happened over the last few days, it's just like I've kind of been to that point of, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. So let's see. The debate said only time Biden could rip on Trump is when he said the story of me, Daniels, Dis, Merles, and Alley Cat. Um, the thing is like by the third question, Biden wasn't even really there. So the line starts for free. I love that bushcraft. Glad to hear that. So are you guys the only? Hey, what's up, DFH? I got your email. I was looking at it, and I'm still kind of processing it a little bit. So DFH, the Supreme Court decision came down, and it came down. Uh, it came down against what I was fully expecting, and the way that it was written, at least from what I read from DFH, because I gotta read a lot more, but all in all, um, it just okay. So they're saying like, okay, the park ordinance, you cannot sleep on park ordinance. Well, because it's not going after homeless, but it's being applied to everybody, because this is really what the Ninth Circuit said, is that you have to apply it to everybody, not just some people. So unless you have regular citizens that want to go and, let's say, sleep in a park, there's not going to be any backlash about it. And it's usually like you're not allowed to be in park after hours, things like that. Now, that's not specifically going after the homeless directly, but indirectly, it's kind of intended to go after the homeless. It's really not a good thing. What's up, Jeremy? Nice to see you. So, what's up, Cherokee? What's up, Mr. Orange? Um, so, welcome to Tuck and Sam's. As you see, she's behind me. She kind of had a day. So, but as far as it goes, I mean, the way that they came down with it, it makes sense. There's really not a lot. They were following the Ninth Circuit Court. What is it? That basically what they handed down, which is you cannot attack a specific group of people. So attacking a specific group of people is what makes it a violation of the Eighth Amendment, because they're doing a blanket statement of everybody. Now, like let's say the stand laws, if they're not applying it to regular citizens, but they're applying it to the homeless, well, then you can apply discrimination. But the thing is instead of going after the city, you go after the officer and his bond. And so therefore, it really makes things a lot more complicated and a lot more diluted. And it just makes life out here a lot more, a lot more interesting. We'll just say that. So, I'm curious what you guys think about it. If any of you guys have come up and read it, I know DFH, you've read a little bit of it, and what you sent to me basically gave me enough of what I needed to know. Really, what you want to read is the summary judgment. You want to read the assenting and dissenting opinion. Because both of them will give you, okay, what the actual argument was, what the questions were raised, what the possibility for changing it is, and stuff like that. So, hey, Melody, nice to see you. So, but that's kind of the way it is. That's kind of what's going on. I'm hoping we see. I'm hoping we see Pebbles tonight. I know that she may have something personal going on, so if so we may not see her tonight. But yeah, she's a regular here too. So, anyways, excuse me, guys. I am tired. So let me kind of run down some things. I'm gonna do a full on video about it. I may end up doing a podcast about it because I think it'd be a great topic to do a podcast. It's like 90 pages long, the summary judgment. So I'm interested to read that, but I'm gonna go and read the cliff notes first to see if it's worth reading everything, so that, and if there's any questions I have, well, that 90 pages is probably the evidence and the deposition. Again, I haven't opened it up to read it. I just read what he said, put in the email. But I think that this is going to be something that I really have to, kind of delve into and get a full on understanding about. So, but anyways, so um, I've gotten to the point where I don't trust the Buckeye section of the trail. Um, I just, the way the map is leading me versus the way the trail blazes. So, like, the map was going to send me down to the intersection by the post office and have me do a road walk and then do a steep climb. Whereas the trailblazers went right through the farm that I was in. So they're telling me, oh, yeah, the trail comes through here. And I'm like, well, my map doesn't even show that. And so I've lost confidence in the Buckeye Trail. Um, I'm kind of hoping that West Virginia may be a little bit different, but I'm not sure, how I feel about things. With the way that the world is falling apart, I especially with the potential for conflict, whether it be civilly or domestically or internationally. I think that making sure that my loose ends are covered is extremely important. Okay, so I'm kind of contemplating this. I know that, and here's something, and I kind of want to know what you guys think about this. I mean, you guys are the ones that participate in this channel. So on the 10th of July, there is basically a rally to end homelessness in Washington D.C. So the day before the Trump sentencing, there is going to be the rally for homelessness. Okay, and uh, I'm thinking that if I'm able to be there and participate in it, that it may end up being lucrative. Not only creating connections, maybe even picking up different avenues to be able to generate some revenue and stuff like that. Because quite frankly, guys, I'm ready to get off the streets. I've been out here too long. I mean, I don't mind it. I'm okay with it, but I need some time to rest. Okay, I need to be inside and rest. At least 3 to 6 months before I get back out on the road. Just being outside is one thing, and being in a city is another thing. But when you're always on the move, you're not getting a lot of sleep. You're constantly ducking, dodging. You're constantly looking, being stressed out by people that are malicious against the homeless and having to hide from them and things like that. It just makes it more stressful than it needs to be. And the fact is that even this court decision here that came down, it's going to end up affecting hikers as well. Because hikers, even if a hiker places in the wrong place, they could get a fine, and they could get all kinds of other stuff. Now, it's always going to be up to the officer's discretion whether he wants to do it. But the thing is these guys are being told privately behind closed doors that that this is what our target is, this is why we're trying to do this is what's going on. And so a lot of these officers will go out and comply, and they'll just say, I'm doing my job. But at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, to be able to, the cities, instead of taking responsibility for the actions of the government, making the homeless situation worse than it needs to be, by increasing, by mismanaging our funds and all this other stuff, instead of actually standing up and going, okay, we're kind of responsible for this, we need to figure something else out. um, it's just like, hey, let's sweep it under the rug, pretend it doesn't exist, and just enrich the city, because if they're not going to give us money in taxes by being productive citizens, then we'll get our money a different way. And that is essentially the position that the homeless are being put in. And it used to be like this for a while, and then all of a sudden it got better. And it just, I don't know if we're our own worst enemy, or if there are just that many people that think that homeless are worthless human beings, and that they're perfectly justified in their mistreatment, because they fail to understand. So let's talk about addiction, and let's talk about mental health, because that's a large part of the people that are homeless, is that they either have a mental health issue, or they have an addiction issue, or they have both. A good portion of them do. And you may not be getting medicated, or you may get medicated, and then because society has put such a stigma on mental health, you're trying so hard to be normal and fit in because you don't want to be discriminated against or treated differently, just because you have something that's wrong with you that you really don't have a lot of control over, especially if it's a chemical imbalance. And so you don't have a lot of control over it. And so instead of sitting there and society saying, hey, look, you're doing the right thing, da 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 da, it's like, oh, well, you've got a mental health issue. Now, society's gotten a lot better about it, as far as being nice to your face, but what they say when you're not around is a different thing. And so, therefore, it's much harder to it's much harder to be able to function. So on one hand, you want to be medicated, or you want to be functional, you want to be normal. But then after a while, when you start taking the medications, a lot of people, like my uncle, he was schizophrenic. And, with his schizophrenia, he would medicate for a while, and then he would start self-medicating. And when he started self-medicating, he started getting aggressive and violent, and then we had to get him back on his pills. And the thing is, it's just like a child who, once the pain goes away, they forget that they just injured themselves, and then they go out there and they re-injure themselves. And so it's not to say that these people are childish, but I'm just saying that, in some sense, you got to be able to understand it, because I watched Sam. Instead of sitting there and resting, all of a sudden she decided to waste her energy, and then she was extra tired at the end of the day. Okay, so that's just kind of where she's at and stuff like that. But I think that this is something that we, as a people, I think we're creating the issues, and instead of actually realizing the role that we're playing in these issues, we're too busy blaming somebody else for it. And then, these people are having to deal with addiction because, like, bipolar people, like most of your tweakers out there are bipolar. Because they need something that's going to up them, that's going to give them some sort of rush, because they don't feel alive. And so, then when they get in their manic phase, they just kind of go crazy because they just want to feel on top of the world. They want to feel good, because when they're not up, they're down, and when they're down, they're really down. So just imagine going from extreme happy to extreme depression, and not really getting control over it because of the way that you're the way that your uh, um, the way that your brain chemistry is off. Okay, and so these people have a huge issues. And these are the people that are outside on the streets that have to deal with the police and stuff like that. And all everybody's looking at is going, oh, well, they're just drug addicts, or oh, they're just self-medicating, or they don't really want to get to understand the problem, so that they can actually figure out not only how to fix it, but how to at least make it easier. Because here's the thing: as a police officer, your job is to bring harmony to the community, and to be of service to your community. It doesn't mean that you're always taking people to jail. It doesn't mean, and sometimes people act completely out of character. And when they act out of character, especially if they're known within the community, they should be given some sort of not pass, but people need to sit back and understand, okay, yeah, this person was just pushed too far. That's why they went that way. So did they necessarily commit a crime on the books? Yes, but in reality, no. Okay, because they just got pushed too far and they just finally snapped. It was out of character. You got to be able, and I think that this is what the law fails to do in a lot of places. And this is really what makes being homeless so much harder, is that the cops don't really take the time to understand what's going on. They're like, yeah, you're homeless, da da da. I've heard the same story over and over and over again. But all they see is, and all they're dealing with are the junkies who are going out there and stealing, and then they're dealing with the dealers who are exploiting the junkies. And and it becomes a symbiotic relationship, and between the laws and the way everything else is going, it's like an uphill battle that you'll never win. And so you get disheartened and you just kind of turn off. Now, I think one of the positive things that came from the whole George Floyd thing, and I have started seeing this around the country, is the whole thing where they have a dedicated police force or police team that is dedicated to working with the homeless. This is extremely important, because it's going to take a while for things to get going, but just like you have your homeless advocates, and the people that go out and serve the homeless, once you get inside and you start getting to know the people, you understand the problems, and so therefore you can find better solutions. And the amount of power that the legal system has over a homeless person is extremely hard. Okay, it's destructive, it's disruptive, it's malicious, because when you're in this at this state, you've kind of lost everything, and you may even have lost your mind. You may have lost your way. You could have lost one of many things. And so instead of trying to help you find your way, they just smack you around and go, get back in line and be a plebe like everyone else. And they kind of had that opening moment where it's like, it doesn't matter what I do, it's never going to work. Okay, I'm hoping you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying, because I know it may sound incoherent. And again, I apologize. I'm tired. It's been a long day. So let's go through and see the comments. So I already read Cherokee and Bushcraft. Sup DFH, Cherokee, Jeremy, Mr. Orange. Um, yes. Yeah, I've got like 4 bars right now. Okay, Bushcraft. Okay, Melly's hi. Sup Bushcraft. I'm okay enough. Thank you. Yeah, she's friendly. She's just a puppy. Yeah, say hi, Sam. So, hold on. Uh, no, she got attacked by a pit the other day. Sam, get over here. Hey guys, hold on a second. I gotta go deal with this. Get over here now. Oi, get over here now. Sorry guys, I'm doing a live stream right now. Come on, Sam, get over here. This one here is pretty cool, but that one right there, he keeps stuff on him. Oh damn, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, no, she's just a puppy. She likes to socialize with everybody. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Sam wanted to go play with the dogs, and one of the dogs was not an extra friendly dog. So, okay. I'm okay enough. Good to hear that melody. Let's see. I had something going on. Ran 102 plus temperature for about 24 hours. Now you're fine. What about us? That's not good. So, okay. You always want to make sure your loose ends covered. The cops don't like it when it's not. Yeah, but the thing is like, okay, with that decision, if I decide to sleep here in this park tonight, um, I'm in more danger than I am, than I would have been prior to it. Why is that? Because I have an inherent right to travel. I have the right to be able to sit back and get some sleep. Now, what they're saying is, yeah, you have an inherent right to travel, but everybody's got property rights, and unless you're staying in a state forest, or in a marshland, you've got nowhere to go. Well, if you're traveling, well, it's another 10 miles before I even start getting into 10 state forest land. Okay. And then I can jump out. But that's to somebody that's traveling, especially if you're only staying a place for a night. Now, one thing that I have found that really works, and so today when we were coming into town, there was this husky. It was a puppy, and it was following us, and I didn't even know it was following us till I looked back. And when I look back, there was this puppy there, and Sam was just kind of looking back, trying to, make sure it wasn't going to do anything to her. She just kept going because we're like, we're trying to get somewhere, and she's just like, I'm just along for the ride. And with that happening, there was, the dog follows for about a mile. And so there's a sheriff that's coming by, and it's going a little slow because the dog keeps going out in the road. And I quickly, frantically wave and then point at the dog and like, hey, wait, like that. So she like immediately pulled over. She thought the dog was like trying to be aggressive towards us. I'm like, no. This dog's following us. It's a puppy. We need to we need to find its owner. It started following us maybe about a mile back. I don't know what house it came from. Next thing I know, it's behind us. And so, she tried to get the dog and stuff like that and couldn't. Tried giving the dog water and stuff like that, and it didn't want it. And so we ended up. Um, I ended up leaving her with that dog, and I'm hoping that the dog found its way home in the same way that Sam found its way home, or her way home when when she strayed off, because this dog just all it wanted to do was go play with another puppy, and it kept trying to lead Sam away and stuff like that. While we were talking, I said, "Hey, look, I'm traveling through. This is what's going on. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna, find a place to camp and just camp for the night." And I was told about this park by the local place. I was actually going to come here anyways, but I was told about this park. It's like, yeah, that's where the homeless go sleep. So if you need a place to sleep, that's where you can go. But if with this new decision, because like the city of Pensacola is trying to is trying now that this decision's come out, now they're going to start making all these ordinances, and now they're going to start going after the homeless based upon what this court decision is. So that's another reason why I want to go through and read the fine details, because they're it's all these cities now, they're going to sit there and they're going to try and use this decision as a way to start attacking the homeless. And although a lot of people are excited about Roe v. Wade, this kind of like, as far as the good that was done there, by sending it back to the states, because it's the states' rights anyways. It's not the federal government's right, and that argument makes perfect sense. But now all of a sudden it's like they took all that good that they did, and instead of being able to protect the average man, because the whole world's about to come down. There's about to be an economic collapse that we've never seen before, because we've never seen what happens when the American dollar and the global reserve currency goes belly up. Now a lot of the world is switching over so that they don't have to deal with the ramifications of the dollar collapse. But the whole West, Europe and the United States and Canada, we're all going to feel it for various reasons. And then that's going to cause mass homelessness like we've never seen before. There are companies that are going out of business. There are very wealthy individuals that are losing money. So this isn't just affecting the poor and the middle class. This is going to take everybody down to their knees. Only those who are smart enough to pre-position themselves for this are going to be the ones that end up that end up doing well. Okay, but very few people are going to pre-position themselves for what's coming. Okay, so the fact that they're going to start going after the homeless, and that this, between what DeSantis is doing in Florida and with this Supreme Court decision, it could really be very, very, very hairy for the homeless, because let's say I decide I want to go down and well, actually no, not say. My plan is to go down and meet All American Preppers, so that him and I can go out and do a hike for a week or two, so that I can learn a lot more about foraging and I can get firsthand account. So that I can really learn it, because this is something that when the whole world goes apart, especially the supply chain, I want to know how to survive. And anybody that's with me, whether it be a friend or somebody romantic, I want to make sure that I at least have the skill sets that's going to help keep us alive. So understanding how to be able to filter water and clean water without any filtration system, without anything, because all those supplies may go away. And if you're not at least prepared for it and have the knowledge for it, so that when it happens you can do it, then you're just going to be in a bad position. And a lot of it is just boil your water. From what I understand, from what I've come across, two different things. One says boil a gallon of water, like bring it to a boil for about a minute. Some say 10 minutes. I'm not exactly sure what's better. I know that I usually do for about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops, and I haven't had any issues. So what you're really trying to do is you're trying to kill all that bacteria in there. Now the filtration, whether you're using a cloth or you're using a shirt or you're using a rag, you're going to want to be able to filter out like the dissolved solids, the debris, stuff like that, so that you have the cleanest water. But sometimes this water, whether it be hard water or just it's, if you're down south, especially if you're in Florida, the southern tea that they have down there, I mean, you can't get the color out of it. So it doesn't matter how much you filter it, or try and strain it, you're never going to get clear water. One of the big things I look for is clear water. Okay, but I think that this is the beginning of what I was warned about to begin with, which is a lot of the homeless are about to end up in a very, very bad place. And with the great dispossession happening, that means that we may be locking up 10 to 30% of our total population. Now imagine that. That will be interesting. So I've never had allergies. Good part is a fever that high helps burn a lot of calories. Well, bushcraft, you trying to lose weight? Get out there on that bike. Is that a cigarette burn on your shirt? Yes, it is, Baloney Bones. I am a smoker, so absolutely okay. I need to lose about another 20 pounds, 2 months or so. Last 10 are the hardest, but don't give up. Okay. What's up, Lervin Tut? Nice to see you from Sweden. My sister was bipolar. She was hit by a car last year while she was in her manic side. That must have been really, really hard to deal with. My brother did acid as a teen and got schizophrenia. I've never heard of schizophrenia coming from that, but it's possible, I guess. Can street drugs cause permanent mental illness? Well, you got to realize that some mental illness, some of it is environment. Okay. So, for example, your parents, like they neglected you, like they truly neglected you, and then they also abused you. So, therefore, that's going to create codependency. It's going to create erratic behavior. You're going to be emotionally unbalanced. So, they would classify you maybe under depression or a personality disorder, because of that. So was this caused by street drugs? No, this was caused by your parents' failure to be proper parents and to understand the impact that they make on their children's life. Okay, whereas something like at least from what I've learned about schizophrenia, is that it's trauma related. It's actually a tear in your psyche. The voices that somebody that's schizophrenic hears is the voices from previous lifetimes. So I've read. Okay, I'm not putting this out as fact. So I've read. Okay, and I've asked quite a few schizophrenics about it, and it's like as soon as I tell them about that, all of a sudden it scares the living daylights out of them. They won't talk to me. They're just like, yep, I'm doing better. Bye, and just go away. It's kind of weird, but I've asked them because I'm curious, like, hey, have you checked? Like, hey, have you talked to these people? When did they live? All these different things. So is that caused by street drugs? No. But if you do street drugs long enough, it can cause brain damage, and certain effects from brain damage can cause mental health disorders. So, for example, if you have brain damage, you are automatically more aggressive, mostly because you become aggressive because you're frustrated with not being able to do your motor functions, and because you can't do your motor functions, um, then then you become angry and you become more aggressive. So somebody might say, "Oh, well, you have anger issues." Okay, now do you have anger issues, or is this a byproduct of the brain damage? There are certain things that within the addictions phase that can cause some mental health disorders, but mental health disorders from at least the way Freud looked at it is he looked at medication as a last resort. But this guy was also doing shock therapy as well. But he looked at medication as a last resort. And as a last resort, he tried all kinds of different therapies to be able to help people, everything from behavioral therapy to to shock therapy, to talk therapy, and things like that. All of our mental health industry is actually was what was modeled after what Freud learned. And instead of building on it, what they did is they corrupted it and co-opted it, and the pharmaceutical industry got into it. And that's why the mental health issues are getting worse. You have this happening across the board, and that's really sad to say, but it is what it is. So she went hard nuts. Okay. I said, hand me that stick. Okay. What's up, Nike? Okay, Canada is toast. Yeah, I don't see how there's taxes to be had at some point soon. Can't wait to leave. Um, Here's the thing. All crimes are commercial, so if they can't get taxes from you, then they're going to charge you, and then they're going to put municipal bonds out there, and they're going to hope somebody buys those bonds, and that's going to how they keep it going until they've criminalized everybody, and therefore the just like a felony now is so watered down. It's not a felony used to be something that was extremely hard to get. Okay. Hey, what's up, Linda K? Hello from Northern Alabama. Ooh, I love Alabama, especially the Pinhoti, man. That is one of my favorite trails, the Alabama side. Trying to end up, not to end up homeless, but it's looking dim. Well, if you go hang out on the Pinhoti, um, and you can even walk the Alabama Road Walk down, which the Pinhoti Outdoor Center will give you they'll give you the GPX file, and then the Florida Trail you can use an interactive map, or you can even use Hiker. Hiker will give you the map for free, but it gives it to you in sections. So like the Alabama section, the Georgia section, stuff like that. So even with the American Discovery Trail, I have to do the Ohio section, the West Virginia section, the Delaware section, and then from Washington D.C. to Maryland section, and then the Delaware section. Just something to think about. But I know that homeless may seem scary. It is a rough lifestyle, and it's about to get a lot rougher. But if you are good at networking, and if you are good at creating a community, you will be safe. Okay. That's gonna be your role as a female outside. You need to create community, men and women, and people that can come around you. And if the women sit back and create community, not only will it have a positive effect, but it will also create more safety and security within the homeless community. So, I mean, that's a really good role to have, especially if you're a woman. So that's what I would strongly suggest. Boiling water sucks. It's great for emergencies, but other than that, yeah. But if you don't have a quality filter, what if it breaks? What if you can't get a replacement part? What if the filter is gone? Because some of these only last so long, like anywhere from a month to 4,000 gallons. It's only a few of them that have the 100,000 gallon certification on it, but yet you still have to clean and maintain it. And like just this part right here, this is the part that breaks the most. I still haven't taped it up. I need to. So all right, so I'm almost positive the octopus has collected enough nuts for the long winter. Let's hope so, Ben. JHL, Linda, okay, I'm right with you. I live in Maui. Rent, groceries, everything's going up in price, and so yeah, JHL, you're gonna be forced to make a decision soon. Especially the poorer you are, the least amount of money you make, the more bills you have. You're gonna be forced to choose between rent and food, and what are you gonna choose? Okay, most people are willing to sell their soul to the devil to keep a roof over their head. And it's unfortunate, but people will. I was actually, Pebbles and I, when we were having our conversation, I was like, a lot of women, that's what they do because they're so stuck on keeping a roof. So let's talk. Let's kind of go through something, the same thing that I told her. So all of a sudden, you've got a woman. She's single, but she knows that the economy's downturn. Her job doesn't look very stable. what she's going to end up doing is now all of a sudden she's going to start looking for a man. And I've actually had this happen to me. That's how I know that this happens. Okay. And she's going to start looking for a man, and she's going to be, telling him that she's looking for love and she's looking for this. But what she's looking for the security to keep a roof over her head. And so if that means that she's kind of got to be in a relationship with somebody that she likes but isn't really going to do anything with other than, just stay long enough to, to ride out, and then she's going to end up leaving him. That's why divorces go down during an economic downturn, whereas when you've got an economic boom, you'll see divorces go up, because the woman realizes that it's going to be much harder to trade up or to get out of that relationship and get into another relationship where she's got the safety and security of a house over her head. Okay, so now she's dating this guy. Okay, and so as time goes along, all of a sudden her hours get cut, and then her job goes away. And men, because we're chivalrous and it's kind of the way we've been raised, what ends up happening is we're like, yeah, sure, that's not a problem, just keep looking for work. And she's going to look for work and stuff like that. But now what really is happening, the dynamic of the situation is because she's not able to contribute financially. She is putting herself in, or to hold her own weight, she is now compromising herself, because the guy, he's gonna be like, look, I'm supporting you, so I mean, I need my, at least take care of the house, take care of me, make sure I'm doing well. And well, she doesn't really like him to begin with, so now all of a sudden it becomes a chore, it becomes another job. And that's kind of the way that it ends up turning out. And she, in a lot of ways, is trading her favors for a roof over her head. Not just cooking and cleaning, taking care of other things, if you know what I mean. Okay, and if all of a sudden he just says, look, I'm tired of taking care of you, you're not doing anything around the house, I'm not going to take care of somebody that's just going to be dead weight. Okay, and so now she's going to fight, claw, scream, make up accusations, and then she's going to go, and if that doesn't work, then she's going to end up going somewhere and trying to make a deal with somebody else. Until all of a sudden, next thing you know, she's in a dangerous position, because she's now went with the wrong guy, who's now pimping her out and making money off of her, and now she can't get out of it. And all of this to be able to keep a roof over your head. I have dated a couple of women that was the whole reason why they dated me, was because they're like, I need a roof over my head. Sure, I'll date you, not a problem. And so therefore it kind of turns into something that's very toxic. And for the guy, he's left going, well, what did I do wrong? I mean, I was trying to do good, but apparently not. And her, she was just looking for an easy way out in case everything fell apart. And so therefore it creates resentment and animosity, which then gets taken out, and then the guy gets blamed for it, until finally he just says, I'm done, kicks her to the curb. And then, if you go and check in on her a year later, next thing you know, she's getting pimped out on the street. And it's like, well, I guess a roof over your head was really that important. This is why it's important, especially as women, that you understand that a roof over your head is not that important. What is important is having community, having guys around you that will make sure that you're taken care of. It doesn't mean that they want to sleep with you. It doesn't mean that you have to sleep with them. But what it does mean is that you're creating a community and a symbiotic relationship. So even if Pebbles and I just become friends, the way in which she takes care of me, listens to me, gives me, her and I are able to have conversations. I'm able to open up to her and stuff like that. If we just decide to be friends, if something ever happened to her, of course I would bring her under my wing. Why? Because she brings something that is way more valuable than bedroom. Okay. And she has the ability to do community. She has skill sets. She's not sitting there relying on somebody else. She brings something to the table for a community. And because she brings that to the community, those that are self-sufficient, that can actually hold their own, are going to want to gravitate around somebody like that. So she may bring several other people around her, and those people are not only for her protection, but they're there for everything that goes on over time. Okay. Now I know that this seems a little off, but I've seen it and I'm trying to explain it the best way that I can. Okay. So right with you. Okay. I grew up with the same parents and I'm not mental, at least not by and large. Okay. I am old. I will admit it. Yes, we know you're old, Melody. So were you in the time of Moses, or were you just in the time of Caesar? Just out of curiosity. So my bike is pretty much permanently broken, so I've been working out, getting. What happened to your bike, Bushcraft? Are you currently homeless, Kason? Yes, I am considered technically homeless. Even though I travel, I really don't stay places very long. I've tried staying places and it just doesn't work for me. I'm one of those people I have to keep on the move because I just don't have the patience for the stupidity of society. So, oops. Okay. How do I go about removing beer cans from weird places? I don't know what the weird places are, Ben. So you have to elaborate more. Um, okay. JHL, my landlord won't fix the place, but went up on the rent, and the hot water heater fell through the floor. Well, Linda, you do have the ability. Okay, this is something, especially if you have a landlord that isn't that isn't doing their obligations, like, okay, food, water, or not food and water, but like your water pipes are broken, you got leaky this, you got a bad toilet, you're having electrical issues, you're having whatever, like your water heater fell through. So you have the ability to withhold rent. Okay. Now, there is a caveat to this. Don't just go, oh, I don't have to pay rent, and then just go blow it, because you're screwing yourself. Okay. What this means, okay, is that if your landlord isn't taking care of the place, you have the ability um, to withhold rent until they fix it. You tell them, I will not pay you a dime in rent again until this and this and this gets fixed, because these are health hazards. They're I paid for this place to be working, and this is broken beyond reasonable expectations, and you can withhold rent. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it off to the side, put it in the side account, because here's what's going to happen. He's going to try and evict you. You're going to go to court, okay? And then in that court hearing, you're going to show and say, look, I'm not paying rent because of this. And then the judge is going to sit there and tell the guy, well, you need to fix these things because this is just abhorrent and should not be done. And as soon as you fix those things, then she's obligated to pay rent, and you may be obligated to pay rent that full time. Now you can tell the judge, like, hey, since he hasn't fixed it for this long, and he's let it go, and we had to go this route. Once he gets it fixed, I will get my rent on, and I don't want to be due any past due, because I want to seek damages. Okay, so you do have some sort of recourse against your landlord. Don't let your landlord roll over you, especially if he's a slumlord, because this is how you hold their feet to the fire, Linda. Melody and McMahon have a new bike picked out. Only need $2,600 to get it. That shouldn't take you but a week to get. Linda, wish you had somebody there to advocate for you and to help you. Yeah, well, what I gave Linda right there should help her. Linda, if you want to reach out to me via email, I have no problem. But what I will say is I will give you direction, but I expect you to do the work yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. You need to learn the process, but I will point you in the right direction. Okay, so it's friartuck@hobotuck.com. You can send me an email, and I will be more than happy to help you. Okay, Linda? At least give you some direction. If the bombs get dropped tonight, you missed the last bag of liver treats for a while. Was Farmer pissed this morning or something? Surprised to hear from you at 8 a.m. He just gave me some really, really weird vibes. One, it was like I kind of felt uneasy the whole time, even staying there, but it was like, okay, it's a place to stay. So I dealt with it, and it just, like I said, it kind of felt a little off. and I told him I'd be leaving Friday morning. Now, when I got there, I thought it was Wednesday, not Thursday. I almost missed the live stream last night because of it. Um, but it's because I was watching another video. So, oh, the live stream tonight. Like, oh, crap. So I went and I did the live stream and stuff like that. But I told him that I would be out Friday morning, and like I said, it was a little uneasy. So I just didn't stay. I didn't feel right. This was one of those, I was kind of following my gut because something told me. I almost when Pebbles and I were talking last night, I almost packed my stuff up and left because I'm just like, something just does not feel right. I'm not sure I should be here tonight. And just kind of something made me feel really uneasy. So that's why I was like, I can't be here. I can't stay another day. There's something wrong, because it gave me the same vibes as what I was going through in Bentonville. Now there's some nice people there, but you also got to be careful of some of the people that aren't nice. So that's really why I left. It's just like, I wasn't ready to. I just I yeah, I didn't feel right, and because I was thinking, yeah, maybe we stay another day anyways. Because I was thinking about that, because I was like, okay, well, it won't be here till like 1 o'clock. I need to stay. But I started thinking about it. I'm like, no, no, I don't want to play this game, because something's gonna go sideways, and I'm not ready to deal with it. So that's why I took that way out. So I guess I'm screwed here. Hardly anyone in the mood speaks English, and everyone is snobby. What are you talking about, Melody? We're all here. You're part of the family. Chill. Leaving is probably not going to be an option until life evolves. Okay, you're talking about something else. Sorry, I thought you were talking about this. Okay, I'm at a point. If I had a van, I'd move in it with my fur babies. Well, look for some of these old '80s utility vans or cargo vans. You should be able to find them for 1,500. And if you go through the whole eviction thing and you can save a couple months rent, then that should be enough to be able to buy you the right van, if you go and do your research and stuff like that. So, do mobile home parks pay $1,000 in property fees a month? Well, here it's like the rent plus, I think it's like 300 or 350 is the space lot fee. We can all meet up somewhere south. That's my plan eventually. That'd be nice. Cooking, cleaning, gardening, mending cloth is only way I will be able to save myself in the end times. Yeah, because you have a skill set that is going to be needed. People need things sewed. It's not that I don't know how to sew. It's just I'm too lazy to do it. So if I can find somebody else to do it and I got trade for it, why not? Too bad we can't all get together and make our own community. But Linda, we do have our own community. It's right here. You show up to the live streams. This is Tuck and Sam's. It's just like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. We sit back, we have a conversation. I answer your questions. I get involved in the conversation as best as I can, and this is our community. Now, if you want to get a little bit further into the community, I would like to invite you over to Patreon. 5, 10, or $20 a month, you get the same thing, which is access to chat. You get the little clips that from my walks and my trail, and you also get anything that gets put behind a paywall. So it's just what you feel comfortable with, what you have to be able to afford, 5, 10, or 20. Some people, a $20 bill is nothing. To other people, it's a tank of gas. So afford what you can, and there's not going to be an income penalty just because you can't afford, or it's just out of your budget range to be able to get all this high tier stuff. Okay, so that's the way that we do it over on Patreon, and yet there's a community as well. Alfred and me and Jeremy, we all sit back and talk. So teamwork makes the dream work. Yes, it does. Well, lots of room to learn. Okay, yep. Okay. I know how to hunt, fish, and travel, and make fancy paracord survival bracelet. We should be a team. Yeah, I mean, bushcraft. I'm sure you're gonna find someone to ride your handlebars. Okay, I've talked to you on the phone. You're a good guy. I said I was odd. Okay. Okay, Melody. uh, uh, Okay. Let's see. Not old Mr. Tuck. Okay, yes. I'm getting old, but I refuse to accept that. Well, you're gonna have a midlife crisis because of that, bushcraft. Getting old is a good thing. It means you're older, you're wiser, and when you date a girl 10 years younger than you, it's like dating a 20-year-old all over again. So I didn't say I was old, bushcraft. Um, oh, but Melody, we know you're old. You don't have to tell us. So I wish I could, but this woman is related to people who abducted me in the 60s. Um, wow. I don't know what to say to that. I'm sorry to hear that, but I don't know what to say to that. If there's anything that, like I said, if I can offer you advice, knowledge, information, I have plenty of that. Send me an email and I'll help you as best I can. I was trying to be funny, but it got blown away. Well, no, we just made it funnier. That's all. What's up, Putty Cat? I came out with my true identity 2 years ago. Well, congratulations. What do you mean your true identity, Linda? Um, okay. Oh, yay! Fruity Pebbles is here. All right, I'm happy now. Okay, hold on. I hope you are having a safe and positive day. Yes, I am, Putty Cat. Rebooted. All right. I hate when I get my days crossed up. Yeah, dude, that sucks. And when you have brain damage, it becomes way more like I'm glad nobody was around me because like I didn't throw a tantrum or anything else like that, but I came very, very close to having a full-on meltdown. Like luckily I'd smoked a bowl, but even that wasn't helping as much as I needed it to. So Melanie McMinn should be there. Government messed all that up. Yeah. I was adding an extra year to my age ever since my son was born. He was born 2 weeks after my birthday. Huh. Okay, so you just flat or not understanding me. I don't know. I'm tired. So okay. Oh, okay. This is a side conversation. Okay. I'm a prepper, so that helps. Yeah, being a prepper helps. Um, I need to figure out a way to get all of you women together. Okay, Linda, Melody, Pebbles. There's a few more females that are in here. I need to figure out a way to get you ladies together, even if it's just like through the Facebook group or something like that, because I have a Facebook group. Because I think that as ladies, you guys have the ability to pass information along to each other and to kind of you because I know as a woman it's much harder out here than it is for a man just because you've got predatory behavior and there are more heterosexuals than anything, so you're going to have a lot of men after you for various reasons, whether it be to own you, control you, or use you. Not all men are like this, but there are enough of them out there that you should always be cautious. Okay, so it's okay. I just need friends. Yeah, that's why I said we should do. I need to. I will figure that out. It'll take me a minute, but I will work on it. When my channel finally goes viral, I'll get a piece of land for group camping. That would be cool. Um, I think all of us really want to get a piece of land, and then we should all just travel to each other's land and just see. I don't know. I just talking out my ass. Melody, people with those cord brackets, I know I would. Melody, yeah, they'd buy those. Okay, yeah. So I mean, like I said, you ladies need to get together and we need to have a ladies group. Now, I'm not going to be speaking to you ladies, and maybe one of you ladies starts a channel just for the ladies for these types of things. And we'll definitely like work in tandem. I'll definitely collaborate with you and help bring awareness to the channel, especially if we're bringing a lot of ladies over there. But I think that the next thing that needs to go and be a big part of YouTube information, especially within the homeless space, is women's safety. As a guy, I can't tell you anything about women's safety. Okay, I don't deal with women out here. Usually, when I see a woman out here, I run for the hills. One time, I decided to make friends with one, and it was probably the biggest mistake I ever. No, uh, it, in the end, I regretted it, but it was fun while it was happening. I'll just leave it that way. So, Melody, people, yeah, okay, me and Bushcraft, we're talking about age among ourselves. Yeah, you're both old farts. You know, you smell too. I can smell you through the phone. Trying to get rid of us. No, why not? No, I'm not trying to get rid of y'all. I think that, again, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I used to be Mormon, and within the Mormon faith, you have the men get together because men know men. The women get together because women know women. And this is like men talk about, you get advice on how to treat women, how to build a successful marriage, how to build a successful family, how to be the spiritual leader of your family. Whereas the women, they get taught not only how to support the man in being the spiritual leader, what their role is, how they can push it and influence it and make sure that their man stays on the right path, and that they are responsible for making sure that their man doesn't stray and stuff like that. And so the women have their own talk because they have their own thing. And the men have their own talk and they have their own thing. And I think when it comes to homelessness, especially when it comes to a homeless channel, that women who have experienced homelessness, whether it be van life, whether it be couch surfing, whether it be trading favors, whether it be these stories and this information needs to be passed to women, because I don't. My mom made a lot of bad choices in men. I'll just put it that way. My mom made so many bad choices in men that when I look at women and I know what happens when they make those bad choices, um, I feel for them. And if the only thing that I can do is say, hey, you need to have your own little thing. I mean, that's the only thing I know how to do. Okay. But at the end of the day, I have because of what my mother and I went through with her second husband, it has made me a little bit more protective of women, but I also see women for who they are, versus how society would like us to see them. Okay. Um, well, my leg ain't any longer, Melody. So I know what you mean about Miss. Okay. Anyways, guys, I know I'm men. Uh, uh, okay. Men, you guys. Okay, I don't know what that means, but okay. Um, but honestly, I think that as ladies, this is something that you guys need to get together and collaborate on. Whether it just be creating a group and talking with other females that are homeless, so that they have resources and so that they can understand. But you got to realize the women that are outside are broken. So don't think that you're going to get some sane woman that's going to be upstanding and stuff like that. In the beginning, they were, but after probably about 2 or 3 months, they've had so much stuff happen to them that they're not that same person anymore, and so they become broken. And the more broken they become, the more broken they become, the harder it is to put them back together. And then no man wants them. Okay. And unless that woman knows how to be independent, like completely support herself without relying on anyone, which is really hard, that's gonna be something else. Okay. So yeah, okay. Oh, okay. You're correcting your typo. So, does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask about Trail? We're getting up on an hour. Tuck's going to run the first homeless dating channel. You know what? If I could connect people, look, I don't know how else to put this. Everybody deserves somebody. Okay? Even me, I deserve somebody. Okay? Doesn't How do I put this? Um, okay. So let me kind of talk about what I'm kind of like how things are going, and kind of how things are going to change a little bit for the channel, for various reasons. Okay. So one of the first things that is okay. So I am debating on whether I go to Washington D.C. for lucrative, but that's going to basically take the last little bit of money that I have for the month. And so instead of being able to have that fluff to be able to keep me going, I'm going to have to use the last of my money to buy a bus ticket. Okay, but it's also my fault. I've been buying cigarettes. I bought some. Well, actually, no. Somebody comped me for my room and for my weed, so I didn't even come out of pocket for that. So I'm grateful for that. and I really needed the room. My old man took care of the room, and a subscriber took care of what I needed for the weed. But I think here, before I get to Parkersburg, I'm almost certain I'll find another dispensary. Here in what city am I in? I can't even. I don't even remember what city I'm in. I'm going through a new city every day. But anyways, so if I decide to go there because I think it's going to be lucrative, then what that means is, so I'm looking at it by by the end of August, beginning of September, I'm gonna make it to I'm gonna make it to back to Cincinnati. Okay, so that includes walking to Delaware, and then walking back from Delaware to Parkersburg, taking a bus to Cincinnati, meeting up with Scott, doing a 3-day hike with him. But at that point in time, I'm done on trail for the summer. I like I said, I need to get down to see. I need to get down and see All American Prepper. So that's in the works. So I got to get down there for the winter. Plus, I want to stop by and I want to see. I want to see Pebbles. Okay, and we're gonna see, like, what goes on between us. If things are good, then we're gonna figure out what we do next. If things aren't good, well, then after I'm done with All American Prepper, I'm probably gonna be walking the Greenway back up to the start of of the American Discovery Trail, and I'm just gonna have to do it next year and start it at the proper time. Okay, that's just kind of where it seems like it's going. Okay, I don't know what else to say, what else to do, but that's kind of the way it's looking. Or what I can do is, if I say, look, I don't want to, I'm tired of wasting money on bus, because I still want to get down and go see him. So what? Welcome to. Oh, well, welcome for being a member, Linda. You're very welcome. So you'll get to see all the videos that come out early. But um, yeah, we're gonna have to figure out. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm gonna have to start figuring out how to. Also, Linda, you should take advantage of the 7-day free trial over on Patreon. That way, you can figure out which one you like more, which one adds more value. Because I know Melody did that, and you might want to ask Melody which one she liked. But welcome to the family as far as being a member. And we definitely like to we appreciate you. But anyways, the other thing that I could do is just walk to DC. But from DC, I'm going to take the Greenway up to New York so that I can meet Ayana, my business mentor. And from there, I will start walking down to Savannah. Savannah is where I'm going to catch the bus. I will either catch it to Pensacola or Tampa, depending upon if I want to walk the trail for the winter, or if I want to, if I just want to go see him and then just get back up top. Okay, so those are some different things in which I'm thinking about doing. But I don't think, because I mean, here's the thing: if I pay for a bus, I just paying for the, because I'm not making a lot of money, with YouTube. I mean, I need to make $1,000 a month to be able to do a lot of the things I want to do, which is catch a bus when I need to, so I can get back here and there if I need to. The other thing is, the other thing is just, I need to get myself pre-positioned for what's coming, and that means that I need to understand foraging, which means I need to understand I need to understand foraging, and I know somebody that is a friend of the channel that will teach me and teach me at my level. Okay, so this is something that I'm considering, but I think, because I really don't want to take a bus. The only reason why I'm even considering taking a bus from Parkersburg to DC is because it might actually benefit my channel financially and help me reach my goals. Eventually, I do want to get off the streets, okay? But getting back to the whole dating thing that Bushcraft was saying, is that everybody needs to find somebody, and you're going to find somebody within your group of friends, and those are going to be the people that you're going to have the better relationships with to begin with. So if over time you guys start talking to each other and you decide you start liking each other, woohoo, great for you. Because you're coming together in a part of a community, you're like-minded people, so on and so forth. So if this all of a sudden becomes where we have several people that start dating because, whatever. Now, I'm not encouraging it, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I know bushcraft, you need someone for your handlebars, and I know that Alfred is single as well, and the both of you guys, you guys should have somebody for you. So that's just my thoughts. Okay, so okay, so let's see here. Welcome, JHL. Just silly opinion. Tuck will tell better. Okay. Um, Maui is a nightmare. You want to get out of there. Head back to the mainland. Um, Great gal pal. Okay. It's been my home for 30 years. Yeah, it's kind of hard to leave your home, isn't it? I know it was hard for me to leave Oregon behind, but you know what? There was so much craziness, I couldn't take it anymore. Stay at your home if you can. That in itself will help you. There's too much. I think that there's too much emphasis being put on a roof over your head. A roof over your head is not that important. Okay, food in your belly, good relationships, a healthy body, a healthy diet, good friends. That's what's important. None of that costs you money. Well, food costs you money, but the rest of it doesn't cost you money. And if you know how to do things on little to no money, it costs you little to no money. Does that make sense? So it is what it is, and I don't know what else to say. It's just that keeping a roof over your head is not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a wise decision when SHTF kicks off. Okay, when the full crap starts, because those that have and those that don't have are going to try and take what those that have do. Some of them are going to end up losing everything because they're not prepared. They don't know how to protect themselves. They think just because they have a firearm. Or those that are well protected may get overran and overwhelmed by large hordes. Okay, so is staying static good, or is it better to move? I find it better to move. Now, this is my opinion. I've been a nomad for almost 25, well, most of 25 years. Okay. I've traveled all around this country. I've done it with my business. I did it for work. I did it for being homeless. I did it for pleasure. I love to travel. I've always had itchy feet. I don't stay places very long. It's very, very hard for me to stay static for more than a short period of time unless I have something that is keeping me there and I like what's keeping me there. Okay. So then as soon as that thing that was keeping me there is no longer keeping me there, I got itchy feet and I'm on the road again. Okay. So I'm just one of those people. And I think that is a smarter way to move and to live, because then you're not attached and you're not dependent. What happens if all of a sudden your homestead gets overran? What happens if your apartment gets overran? My buddy's telling me the things that are happening in Dallas. I mean, people are getting their apartments broke in while people are in there, getting robbed, and other things that are happening. There is so much violence happening in Dallas that people are leaving in a mass exodus, and nobody's talking about that. They're talking about New York, but they're not talking about Dallas. Okay, there are parts of the city that the police don't even cover anymore. In the Dallas area, from what my buddy's telling me, it's that bad. And how are you going to keep a dwelling when that happens? That is like clue number one, GTFO. Okay, so that's my opinion. But I live my life my way, and you live your life your way. So I was a nomad for like 27 years. Not really digging this stationary stuff too much. Yeah, and the thing is when the older you get, the harder being a nomad is. Because I'm ready to settle down. I really am. I'm ready to hang my hat for a few months, relax, have some good company, get some work done, and when I get my energy back and my itchy feet back, then I want to be able to get on the road. right now I'm being forced on the road because there's no other option. Okay. There is no other option for me. I cannot stay in the cities. I do not have the patience to deal with these people. I am not willing to accept the criminal consequences if I decide to really let these people know exactly how I feel and what I think. Um, and do it without words. We'll just leave it like that. Okay. And I can't do it. So I instead, because I really, when I was talking to my business development specialist about 2 weeks ago, I almost broke down on the phone, crying, uh, because it was the reasons the having to leave Cincinnati at the very least added 1 to 2 more years to my homelessness. I could have been off the streets this year. Okay. The way that I was pushing everything, the way that I was marketing, the way I was building the foundation, the way I was doing things, I was to a point where, like, by this October, November, I would have been able to at least start looking at a place. Even if it wasn't in Cincinnati, I could have gone out into Podunk, Kentucky and found me a $300 to $600 place to live. They're still out there, but you really got to search for them. But I could have put Sam and I up for the winter. Now I'm because I'm forced on the road. I start hiking late in the season, and instead of being able to get a lot more of this hike done, and get a lot more distance done, because I wanted to stay static because I was ready to get off the streets. Now, now I got to pay the consequences. And and another thing is for me, there this is something that people that have been in van life or that have been homeless understand this more than people who have never experienced homelessness. But you set plans, you start saying I'm going to do something, and you start doing it, and you go to accomplish it, and then you run into obstacles, and you keep going and you keep going until finally you start asking yourself, am I actually in the negative on this, or am I in the positive on this? And when you look at it and you go, you're in the negative, well, you got to change the way things are. Okay. And for my mental health, see, growing up, I was very successful at everything. Okay. So I graduated high school in 2 years. I was a decent athlete. I got plenty of accolades. I mean, I was successful at anything I did. And then one day I got sent home from the United States Marine Corps after 31 days in boot camp. So I went through a third of boot camp, and I was sent home because of a physical issue. They said that I had degenerative hips. Turns out that wasn't true either. They were just being lazy. But, corpsmen are gods in the Marine Corps. Um, and from that point on, I struggled to complete anything, to have any success in anything. It wasn't until many years later where I started just like, I forced myself to complete things. I forced myself to start doing things. The things actually changed around for me. And over the last 2 years, almost 2 years, I've said, well, I'll go here and I'll do this. I'll go here and I'll do this. And I think I'm not accomplishing it until I realize I accomplished it, just not the way I thought. I said I was going to do these things, and I will eventually end up doing them because I will feel guilty about it until I actually get it done. But it's really bothersome for me that I keep making these commitments, and then the whole world turns upside down on me, and then I can't follow through on it. And whether or not it's justified, it still makes me feel about that small. Okay. And so, this is something that I'm struggling with as well. But I know where I want to go, what I want to do. And I'm trying to make less commitments to, okay, I'm going to be here on this day, to more like, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do this when it happens. And I'm going to move in that direction, but it's going to work. And that's because the thing is the second I start putting dates on it, that's why Sam and I are running our asses into the ground, because I got to be somewhere by a certain time. And so if we got delays because of heat, and then, other delays because of this and other delays because of that, next thing you know, Sam and I are doing 25 miles a day trying to catch up because, we got a schedule to keep. And that is causing more harm, not only to me, but to Sam as well. So and these are things that I'm having to consider. And so I'm thinking about a lot of this stuff. I don't know what's going on, but I know that I said I was going to go do the American Discovery Trail, and I will complete it. I just may not complete it when I thought I was going to complete it, but I will complete it because it is a goal and it is something that is burning in my burning in my chest to the point where I'm like, I really I've got to do it, but I'm not going to screw myself to do it either. I want to do it in the right conditions. And Jeremy might call me soft, which is probably true, but I'm telling other people the things that I'm going through on trail, other hikers and stuff like that, and they're like, yeah, I wouldn't do that trail either. I wouldn't want to do that trail either because it's like something that was supposed to be fun has turned into a nightmare. Okay, just because they're not doing things. So let's see here. I want to. Okay. Why are you wearing a prison suit? I'm not. Okay, yeah, you got that, Jeremy. I'm off to Germany on Tuesday. I have all my equipment sorted and have 4 side hustles. I'm going to try and stay up to 3 months, which is the legal maximum. Where are you going from, Mr. Orange? You going from the UK, aren't you? Or is it no? I'm really bad. You guys know my memory's bad. Oh, okay. I'll never be able to live that comment down. Which comment, Linda? Oh no, he's going to read it. Hold on. Now I gotta go look. So you got a melody, baby, huh? So, okay. Yeah. No. You are now Melody's mom, Linda. So, oh no, yeah, I did read it. Thank you very much. I needed the entertainment. Let's see, Mr. Orange. Wow, I would love to see Germany. Yeah. Are you gonna go see any of the castles? That's the only reason why I would go to Germany. I want to see a lot of the medieval and ancient history. That's part of the reason why I even want to walk the West Virginia Trail. There's a lot of Civil War museums along the way, and I really want to cover that. I think that is worth doing it. And it's like a rail trail for like the first third of it. There's actually 4 trails that are connecting to go through all of West Virginia. You're going to go up into the north and then go into Maryland, and then from Maryland you dip into Washington D.C. and then over into Delaware. So, but I was a rock star until 2020ish. Yeah, we all were rock stars until then. Bushcraft rebooted. Attach a bungee on that fella. Okay. Sometimes we need to break and step back and reevaluate things. Yeah, that is true. I don't know what else. Just that's there's a lot. There's truth in that, but I keep pushing myself and setting what I think are realistic goals and expectations, and realizing that they are unrealistic. One of the things that Slack and Fishbone kept trying to tell me is quit trying to go to a specific place and be there at a specific time. Just go in a direction, and when you get there, you get there. And as a traveler who's always gone, it's like, okay, I'm going to this city because this is what I want to do. I get to that city, and then I do what I want to do, and then I move on. But the thing is now I'm doing it in such a hybrid way, in a way that I've never done it, that I'm trying to use my old ways, and it's really not working the way it should. So yeah, UK, getting ferry to France, then bus to Germany. Why not just walk through France? I gave birth to this beautiful Melody. Yes, and now every time she acts up, we're gonna put you in timeout, Linda. oh, well, let's see how that one works out. So even though life has been rough and I'm on the edge of homelessness, I can honestly say since being clean and sober for the last 14 years, life has been better. Coping with life has been easier. Well, congratulations, JHL. Being sober is important if that is important to you. Me right now, I'd rather be stoned this whole damn trip. Actually, here's the thing: when you smoke out on trail, it's like it's like smoking your very first time every single time, because you're sweating so much, you're detoxing so much, you're putting all that crap out of your body because of all the exercise that you're doing, that when you sit back and you like take a toke and you're like, holy crap, 5 hours later you're like, when will this end, please? So But yeah, I there's been times, we each have our own thing, and I got to say, congratulations, pat on the back, for it working for you. Don't forget to hit the like and share it so it gets out. Yes, it does. Okay, make fun of me and didn't even read it right. Well, of course, that's um, I'm a man. I'm not supposed to do it right. So yeah. Okay, because that would require spending a lot of time in France, which I have no interest in. I speak German, but no French. Well, didn't well, don't you want to see hairy armpits and legs? I mean, if not for anything other than the entertainment value. So, do you people not what it means to grow on someone? Am I missing something? Well, the Melody. Some guys only know of one thing that grows. Okay, so oh no, oh no, yeah. Okay, it's what Linda said, not you. When will you be at a 4:30 store? Um, Probably about 4:25. Um, there's I will look down the road, okay, and I will tell you in the next live stream. But it's got to be before we hit Parkersburg, and we're gonna hit Parkersburg Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so before the end of this weekend, I'm hoping to go through and find a vape store because that's where it's at. And if I can find one of those vape stores, I'm gonna look in here for it if I can. But if I find one of those stores, we'll definitely use it. But I really don't know. Now, I had a lady that I talked to today. She was a really cool lady. Because I'm being apathetic and I just don't give a shit. Um, what she's like, she made a comment about something, or asking where we're traveling. I was telling that what we're doing, and she said, that'd be a life dream, and I'm like, yeah. For some it is, the others it's a nightmare or something like that. I was just being a smart ass, and we got to talk, and I started telling her about the YouTube channel, and I was telling her about the guy down like maybe 3 or 4 miles down the road. Beforehand, we stopped at a Dollar General, so that I could get something to drink, give Sam some fresh cold water out of the fountain, and just kind of do that. And um, there's this old guy. He's like, "Does the dog have food?" I said, "Oh yeah, she's got plenty of food. I bought her food this morning. I just bought her a fresh bag." He's like, "Okay, do you have food?" I said, "Oh yeah, yeah. I got so much food, I'm not eating it. I'm having trouble eating it." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Okay. So you and the dog got food. You got water. You're good." I said, "Yeah, we got everything we need. We're good." And so I was telling her about that, and so she ended up giving me some cash. And then another guy, when we got here into town, McCarthy's where we're at. When we got here into McCarthy, we stopped off by a marathon that had a McDonald's, and it didn't go into McDonald's. Just went in and got me like a dollar tea just so I could and then it also gave Sam to be inside where it was cool enough so that she could cool down her core temperature. Because right before, about 2 miles before we got into McDonald's, there was a nice little lake. I take her off the leash. I said, "Go get some water." Man, that dog peeled out, jumps in the water, swimming around, swimming and drinking at the same time because she's trying to cool herself off. And so on and so forth. Oh, and I don't know if I told you guys, but there was this husky that followed us, but I flagged down a sheriff. And I'm going to post the pictures in the community tab. But for those of you that are here, I'll tell you the story. So I looked behind, and Sam. I thought Sam was using the bathroom, and when I looked behind, and turns out that that the dog was coming up on us. So she was protecting her hindquarters. So it was a puppy. It was a husky, beautiful blue eyes. It was the prettiest blue eye. All huskies have pretty blue eyes. That's I think that's the most beautiful part of them. But he wanted to play. He kept trying to lead Sam away. And so finally I see a sheriff. I flag it down. I point at the dog. The sheriff thinks that the dog's being aggressive. I explained to the sheriff, like, "No, this dog's following us. He's a puppy. He wants to play, but I don't want this owner to lose his dog. Not only is it a beautiful dog, but I remember what it was like, and I didn't want that to happen to me. So I'm trying to, repay the favor, because what you do to others, others will do to you. So I at least did my part, and I think the sheriff called animal control, because that's what she has to do. I also, introduced myself, say, hey, look, yeah, by the way, I'm gonna be camping in your county, so if you get any, I'll be gone in the morning. I'm heading to Parkersburg. And so she took my name down, like all the sheriffs do, and they're like, okay, good to know. So I should be clear for the night, as far as the sheriffs go. But for a lot of this stuff, if you're traveling and you contact the sheriff's department, and you tell them, look, I'm gonna be, camping. If somebody calls, this is who I am. This is my description. So that they're, they know who you are. Like I'm a camper, I'm a hiker, or I'm traveling, and I'm here for the night, and I'll probably be out of your county by noon tomorrow. Because that's how long it takes. It's counties are like 20, 40 miles wide, so it takes a while. So you let them know that, and that's a lot of how you can circumvent a lot of the whole stuff with the Supreme Court decision, because it's extremely important that you notify them, and it's going to be something that protects you moving forward. Okay, so I'm gonna read the last of the comments, and then I am talked out for the night. Well, not completely talked out. I still got a little bit more energy, but as far as the live stream, okay, I'm tired, I'm hot, and I'm ready to relax and do my nightly routine that winds me down. So, okay, let's see, 4:20. Okay, hold on, let me go back to the 4:30 comment. Okay, 4:30, the snack shack next to the weed store. Okay, giggity. Oh, I like that. Giggity, giggity. Yeah. Um, okay, am I Troy Aikman? Hey, what's up, kid? No, but he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. Cherokee Fit, store would be about 10 minutes too late. Yeah, probably. Uh, you need the munchies before you start, right? I do shave, just not at home when I. Okay. Um, okay. I miss. Okay. When you go to a store, post a short. If I'm gonna be staying in that town, because it's probably gonna. How long? Cherokee, do you keep an eye on? Do you have notifications turned on, so whenever I post anything, you automatically get a notification? Because I mean, I may only be able to stay there for like, okay, I'm gonna take a 15, 30 minute, no longer than an hour break, and yeah, I can do that. But I will. We'll see what happens, but I'll try that. When that happens, I'll post a short. Okay. That way we'll see what happens. I can't smoke anything anymore, but we would sure love some Mary Jane brownies. Oh, dude, no, I like the chocolate chip cookies. I've I've never had a bad experience with cookies. I would settle for just a joint at this point. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah, that 1 gram joint lasted me 3 days. So, because I broke it down and I just been putting it in my pipe. So, I'm a complex woman with many moods. Yes. Okay. Hope you see y'all again. Okay, Linda, you're off. I looked. We're here every night at 7 o'clock. So every night that I can be on. I hope I didn't offend you. Growing on you is very old. Yeah. Nobody's being offended. Nightly routine. Oh my God. We're missing a stick. So, okay, we do this almost every night at 7. Yes, perfect. All right, Mr. Orange. Yes. Melody, hon, I was so depressed and you made me smile. You're awesome. Yes, Melody is awesome. Melody, that's why she's a permanent fixture. But apparently, um, yeah, I'll leave that alone. Okay, okay, cool. For sure, be here. Linda, okay. Linda, show up often enough, you might get it right on my handlebars. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, this will be fun. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything from Alfred. So, okay, show up often enough, and yeah, okay. I'd hook you up, get you a Coke too. Oh fuck. Oh, well, yeah, that's my motivation. That's my motivation right there. Give me a Coke and a joint, a cigarette, and a nice shady tree with a good breeze to sit under, and yeah, I'm a happy camper for about 20 minutes. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the family. We're here every night at 7. If you want to help the channel, everything's in the description. Become a subscriber, like, share, comment, Patreon, membership, all that stuff. Thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next video.